Yeah. Starting a fire, not allowed. Carrying weapons or firearms is not allowed in the national park. I've got nothing to fear, there are no cats here. So we are free and safe. Also, littering in the park is not allowed. Once you have any jet, just drop it down or take care of it at the end of the drive. Okay, the Zambezi River. So it is the fourth longest river that we have in Africa, after the Niger, now Congo, then the Zambezi. So it actually starts here, in Zambia, that is in the northwestern part of Zambia, in Ikelenge district, in a place called Kaleni Hills. So from the source to where the river actually joins the Indian Ocean, it is about 2,574 kilometers. So the river actually passes through 6 great nations without the name changing. So it starts here in Zambia, goes about 60 kilometers into the plains of Angola, then it comes back to Zambia on the western part of Zambia, then it goes to Botswana, Zimbabwe, then Mozambique. I've got some impalas. They're trying to drink water. Those are vultures, white-backed vultures. So these guys, they are scavengers. They are scavengers, they feed on dead carcasses. So with vultures, they can move up to 100 kilometers away from their nesting area just in search of food. So they depend much on their eyesight because they have to soar up high in the sky just to spot dead animals. So sometimes we call these guys the mortuary attendants because they help clean nature, they clean the dead corpses outside here. The river. So the term Zambezi actually means great. So sometimes we refer to the river as the Great River. So it is the largest river that flows east and the largest that feeds into the Indian Ocean. We actually bear out some round fruits. They are green, but when they are ripe, they become a bit dark brown in color. So they are actually favorite foods for the elephants. So whenever you see an elephant feeding on this tree, just know it's just eating it as a dessert or a sweet corn. After having a heavy meal. And not to say palm trees take a longer time to grow and actually produce. So they make sure they don't bring the tree down. Because they want to find food to die to pass. Area. Baby. So for the cuckoos, they don't really move in large numbers. They are solitary animals. They don't really move. The only time you get to see them maybe 2 or 3 just during the mating season. But off mating season, they normally move solitary. So the difference between these guys and the impala is just the body size, and these guys are slightly hairy than the impala. So the way you differentiate between the male and the female, for the males they do carry horns, for the females they don't carry horns. So like for that one, that is a male. Running speed, they can run up to 35 to 40 kilometers per hour. And these guys are mixed feeders, they graze and browse. That's the far edge there, those are impalas. So for the impalas, they actually grab the roots. Try to choose for the elephant. So the ones you've seen being brought down here is because of the elephants. So the bunny can grow up to that height, but because of the elephants, they actually bring them down. The reason why they bring them down is because they want to be there for the young ones to feed. Yeah, and also sometimes these trees they tend to taste bitter. So whenever an elephant feeds on a bitter tree, to bring it down out of anger, because it doesn't want to taste the same bitterness again.
but they're not called white maybe because they're white in color.
Because that's a mispronunciation between the Dutch. They failed to say wide-lipped, they said white, right? So instead of saying white, they said white. Yeah. These are second largest from the elephants. Okay, go closer.
I don't know.
That one, that is one there. Are you okay? Take the last photo. Just to acquire medicinal purposes. Even as humans, way back in the village, people used to use the same bark of the baobab. If a baby is born prematurely, you get the same bark of the baobab, you soak it in water for 3 to 4 days, then you use the same water to bathe the baby. But you make sure you don't wash the head, because the head will become big like the baobab. With those, they are doing a walking safari. They are accompanied by a ranger. Male and the female will actually go on a little tournament. They'll fight. So once the female wins, there is no mating for that season. If the male wins, that means that there is mating for that season. So the reason why they do that is because the females, they have to be convinced to say, my man is strong. Yeah, they can be able to take care of me, and also they understand genetics. They know to say if the father is weak, definitely even the children will be weak or weaker. Yeah. So they don't want to produce weak offspring. That's why they go on that into tournaments.
Oh, there's two.
Oh, yeah.
There's three, isn't there?
Ora. Mungkin sampai pat plane pat ini berani ala tuon. Atuon. Ora. Ora.
Under the tree. Ah.
So a group or a family of giraffes is known as a tower when they're standing, but when they're walking, it's a journey of giraffes because of the way they walk. Legs on the same side, they move at the same time, and legs on the same side, on the other side, they actually move at the same time. So gestation period, these guys, they carry pregnancy for 15 months and only litter one baby. For the baby, but without a rod. So they do that because it helps awaken the baby and also helps them cut the umbilical cord. Yeah. Na kuzingilieni bwana. Yeah, that's one of them, correct? What's with the color? Yeah, the color, there's a difference with the color, but what's with the color? Males, the partisans, they tend to be more darker than the females. And also, if you look at the oxbones on the head, for the males, they are not fully covered with hair, but for the females, they are fully covered with hair. Yeah, so those are one of the differences. So the tongue of the giraffe is slightly kind of bluish in color, and it can grow to length of 35, 36 centimeters long. The lion. Just one kick. If it kicks you, you are in heaven. Say hello to Jesus. Yeah. So they can kick and stamp. That's how they defend themselves. Running speed 45 to 50 kilometers per hour. They can kick and stamp while it's running. So these guys only drink water 1 to 2 times in a day. So the reason that you can catch them is that they tend to be dull in terms of training them. But they are naturally clever, but they tend to be dull in terms of if you try to teach them certain things. You teach them today, come tomorrow they'll forget, they'll kick or bite you. So zebras can also kick and they bite just like donkeys do. So in every zebra family, so a group or a family of zebras is known as a dazzle. So the reason why it is known as a dazzle is because if you spot one zebra, then maybe they go back to the group, maybe a group of 20, 30. It becomes super difficult for you to spot the zebra you spotted first. So because of the same black and white stripes, they form a dazzling difference or a dazzling image. So that is one of their defensive mechanisms. They act whenever they are being attacked, they actually group together because the predator actually see them as one entity. Yeah. So family, there's a male which becomes the leader, we call it the stallion. The female, the mare, the baby, the fowl. So these guys, they are mixed feeders. They can feed on higher growing vegetation and also on lower growing vegetation, but mostly I would say maybe 50 to 60% of their feeding, they feed on lower growing vegetation. It's only when it gets dried down, that's when they tend to switch. The white stripes on the back of the female, they are bigger than the males.
That one.
Yeah, that one is a female, yes. Lifespan 30 to 35 years. Running speed 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. Defensive mechanism, they can kick and fight. They're actually second in terms of ranking and kicking. The first one is the giraffe, the third one. Okay. Those are impalas. So the term impala was actually derived from the Zulu term, the original name which is imbala. So imbala is a Zulu term that means mbula or rain. So the breeding season for these guys is actually during the rainy season. That's why they were referred to as imbala. So the Dutch just want to pronounce imbala, they say impala. So in the Impala kingdom, we have got two heads. We have got the bachelor head and the breeding head. So what you're looking at now, this is the breeding head. So in the breeding head, this is where you find females and only one dominant bull. So the one carrying bigger horns there, that's the alpha. So one bull can dominate to about 15 to 500 females. So we sometimes refer to this guy as the King Solomon. One man having a lot of females. So gestation period, the impalas, they carry babies for 6 months and only litter one baby. These are the only animals, these are the only animals in the animal kingdom that can actually postpone or later on abort pregnancy. So whenever they see to say the environment is not conducive for the young ones, they'll postpone the pregnancy for about 2 to 3 weeks if the situation does not change to your house. So what normally happens in the breeding head, if they are male impalas, they are only correlated to about 2 years. After 2 years, they'll be chased away. So after they chased away, they go and form their own bachelor head. Because the father does not want competition with the young ones, so they are chased. Yeah. 65, they tend to lose their teeth. So mostly the only source of food becomes water and soft meats. So mostly they die out of starvation. Yeah. So whenever elephants are actually migrating back to this national park, they pass through here just to pay their last respect. Because elephants, they do mourn like us humans. So they have got that super ability to store information. So they know to say a brother died here, a father died here. Yeah, so they normally come here, they'll spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes flipping the bones up and down. then afterwards they continue their journey. But whenever they are doing that, make sure you don't disturb them, they'll kill you. Because that's more like a ceremony for them. They don't want to get disturbed. So while they are flipping the bones, they'll be making some rumbling sounds, or like crying. Then afterwards they continue their journey. Twende tate. So for buffaloes, also don't have sweat glands. So the way they keep their body temperature, so they wear the shed and they also water in night. So these are among the big five. So for elephants, they don't forget. For buffaloes, they don't forgive. So with buffaloes, once they decide to charge, they just charge. But for elephants, they tend to give some signs. They'll just warn you to say you're not welcome. And then you give them some space. So gestation period for buffaloes is actually 8 to 9 months. And they only eat one baby. Running speed 35 to 40 kilometers per hour. These guys have got a very good sense of smelling, good sense of hearing, but poor eyesight. So with buffaloes, they are in the family of bovids. So bovids, these are cloven hooved ruminant animals. So if you look at their hooves, they are cloven. Cloven means split. So in the family of bovids, this is where you find bisons, buffaloes, domesticated cattle, and also goats and antelopes. They are in the same family. So they are cloven hooved and they are also luminant. So they have got more than one story to flip. We call that female the pathfinder. She's responsible of directing the group or leading the herd to where there is greener pastures, where there is food. Just like soldiers. So with baboons, they can eat whatever else humans will eat, apart from chili and spices. Also, these guys, whenever it is super dry, they tend to hunt. They are not feeding, but they are busy chewing because they are busy actually feeding the stuff of the mouth. So how do you differentiate between a male and a female of the buffalo? They both got horn. Any idea? Yeah, that's one thing. Across the river on the other side. So those are now crocodiles. So what it is doing basically here is just sunbathing. These guys have got a very poor digestive system. The reason why they are called stalks because they have got a stalk on the neck. That's a good. So way back before the Livingstone town actually moved to where it is now, the town was actually located within this national park. So the reason why it is called the Secluded Drift or the Odd Drift is because there were some movements that were happening between Zambia and Zimbabwe, which was Northern Rhodesia and Southern Rhodesia back then. So people used to do trading using the river channel. They used small boats, canoes. So the reason why these people actually moved to where the town is was because they suffered from black water fever, which is known as malaria this time. So as you may know, we're close to the river, and the river is actually the breeding site for mosquitoes. So these people who actually lived here, they actually experienced malaria cases.
Yeah. Can be a good movie, like. The other one's fun.
Pull it. Oh yeah. So you see, this time this guy is fresh. He just move a lot. Pindah apa pancang bangun? That's the naughty one. Yeah. Mostly the group is one naughty one, so I can already see that one. Asunguro. Ukaendekeza first yaka. Unaona kapinda mtira kona. Kasiye first kachot kanchi. Kasiye kabwele kasiye. Wait. Wait. Kulimbe kandekeza che. Sikanga bwele kumena. So these guys, they have got a skin that can reach up to, in terms of thickness, almost an inch thick. But despite the skin being that thick, it is super sensitive. That even when a mosquito sits on an elephant, you will be able to detect. You can tell that there is a mosquito sitting. So just like the impalas, also in the elephant kingdom, we have got the bachelor head and the breeding head. So this is a breeding head. So the leader in the breeding head mostly is the female. We call that female the matriarch. That is the oldest female in the group.